Joining us now, Stephen Miller. He, one of the architects of the Trump immigration policy, and he's coming to us from Florida today. Senior White House advisor to President Trump. I want to just walk through this because, as you know, I'm a very simple man. You're much smarter than I am. I don't want to get confused by what you tell me, Mr. Miller. All right? Number one, when Donald Trump took over as president, there were caravans, thousands of people coming here. And for the first 3 years, they just came and came and came. What drove that?
So the problem of illegal family migration and illegal minor migration really began in earnest in 2013 and 2014. And this was the problem known as catch and release, where people would make asylum claims. Those claims take weeks, months, even years to process. And so they would be released into the interior. And so large caravans took advantage of this in coordination with smugglers to simply turn themselves in huge numbers into the Border Patrol. We spent 3 years fighting the ACLU, fighting radical left-wing judges, and fighting activist injunctions to ultimately put in place a program to end catch and release. Once we did that, once if you were apprehended, you were sent to either Mexico or a safe third country, pretty much all caravans stopped. So you put up the numbers earlier of 2016, 2017, or 2017, 2018, and 2019. What happened in 2019 is the media started paying attention to the caravans. Word started spreading pretty widely in Latin America. Things started to explode. Fortunately, we got the Remain in Mexico policy in place. We got the Safe Thirds in place. And people will tell you that by early 2020, it was a solved problem. Every single family that illegally came into the country was either sent home, sent to Mexico, or sent to a safe third country. There were 0 releases, and therefore almost no large groups coming to our border.
All right, so it took you 3 years to get to that point. How did you finally get that policy into play?
Well, we fought a lot in the Ninth Circuit, and that ping pong back and forth. We were sued again by the ACLU, other far left groups, in order to try to halt any policy that did anything in effect but release illegal aliens. So it wasn't just the Remain in Mexico, though that obviously is one of the most crucial ones, but effectively any strategy that we applied ended up going into court. So part of it was ultimately just winning those court cases, which took a while. And the second piece was getting Mexico and Central American countries to cooperate, because this had never been done before in American history. So this was a first. Arguably, it's up there with some of the greatest foreign policy achievements that have ever took place. To get
unfortunately,
Mexico to take these migrants back.
Okay, so you got Obrador to put his army on both borders, the southern border of Guatemala and the northern border with the USA. How did President Trump do that? Because Obrador didn't want to do that.
Yeah, so it was a combination of both hard and soft diplomacy. So we had Mexico, as you mentioned. They secured their northern border, they secured their southern border, and they also had their migration authorities all throughout the smuggling routes, apprehending and deporting illegal immigrants. And we would actually monitor that progress on a day-to-day basis. Plus, if they came to our border, promptly returned to Mexico. The soft diplomacy was the personal relationship between Lopez Obrador and President Trump. Economic cooperation, trade cooperation in the form of USMCA, and also counter-narcotics cooperation. So we had very active counter-narcotics cooperation going on in Mexico to try to fight these cartels. Hard diplomacy in the form primarily of threatening economic sanctions in the form of tariffs. The combination of hard and soft diplomacy yielded the biggest breakthrough in immigration policy really since 1950. And it was a game changer.
But we had to give Mexico money to fund all of these people waiting in Mexico for their asylum requests, right? We granted them extra aid. Is that correct?
We provided a small amount of support specifically for detention costs in Mexico. But relative to what we were spending on U.S. detention, we're probably saving $99 out of 100.
Interesting. how much does it cost, just generally speaking, for the United States to fly migrants back to their homes in Central and South America?
I haven't looked at the numbers recently in terms of what those flights cost. Keep in mind that Congress already funds what we call ICE Air, which is the ICE plane fleet. And so that's already a sunk cost, if you will. The planes are there. And so, probably the additional cost per head, if I had to guess, was, $100-200 per person per flight. But again,
we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars that this is costing the United States to send people back. I mean, it would have to be if you have millions of people coming in here.
Yes, although what I would underscore is that it's a decreasing cost as time goes on. Because what happened is that, again, by early 2020, we had the lowest in custody numbers in recorded history. And by in custody, meaning people that are inside a Border Patrol or ICE facility. Because we were returning people to Mexico so quickly, including by land.
Yeah, I get it. You save the money that you'd have to spend here. Now, I don't think President Trump will mind this, but in one of my conversations with him, private conversations, I suggested that he designate the Mexican drug cartels as terrorist groups. And if he had done that, which he didn't, he could have attacked them with drones, special forces, you know that. If you're a designated terror group, the United States can go on offensive military operations against you. I strongly suspect that he didn't tell me this, that was one of the persuaders for Obrador to cooperate with the immigration, because Obrador did not want that terror designation on the cartels. Am I in the ball game here?
Well, what I would just say is that Lopez Obrador, unlike some of his predecessors, did have a strong view about U.S. special operations in Mexico. And so it's certainly the case that was something that he was very much opposed to.
Right.
I can't really get into the details of anything beyond that. But it's also the case that cooperation between U.S. and Mexico on counter-narcotics has effectively broken down completely since Biden took over.
Okay, last question. And this was a question that I asked Hannity today on a radio program, even though it was his program. Joe Biden has not, to my knowledge, explained why he knocked out the Wait in Mexico program. He hasn't said why he did it. Do you have any idea why the man did it?
I don't think Joe Biden himself personally knows. I doubt that he really has much understanding of what's going on the border. I suspect the advisors around him, though, are deeply committed to the idea that illegal immigration is good for the Democratic Party long term in terms of expanding its power base, that it's bad politics now, but over time, that it's good for increasing the number of Democrat voters. That's certainly their view, and I think they're fairly well committed to it. Consequences be damned for the rest of the country.
But this could sink the Biden administration if the economy goes south, and the immigration thing is, people aren't going to forget this. That could be the end.
They're playing with fire. It's going to hurt them badly in the midterms. And more importantly for the country, it's hurting millions of Americans in the form of lost jobs, in the form of drugs, in the forms of crime, in the form of you talk about cost. Long term, you're talking trillions of dollars in cost to taxpayers by letting in millions of illegal immigrants.
Mr. Miller, thank you very much. Happy Passover. Thanks for taking the time. We really appreciate it. We'll talk soon, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fellow Americans, I am concerned about the U.S. dollar. Huge debt, as you know. Will it stay as the world's reserve currency? That's why now more than ever, I recommend you diversify with gold and silver. And the only company I recommend, and have for years, is American Hartford Gold. I trust them. I've personally done business with them. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA. And they make it very easy. So call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold shot up more than 40%. Silver, more than 60%. So don't wait. Call them now. 866-501-5201. 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Bill O'Reilly here. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the First TV YouTube page. Just hit the big red subscribe button below, and you'll get clips and highlights of my program, The No Spin News, every single day. We'll see you soon.